He chose the number himself, 24. He picked it to mean a fresh start, a second act. A clean slate. He had no idea that one day the rest of his life would be measured by that exact number too. Fewer than 24 hours. January 25th, 2020 night, Kobe Bryant watches someone pass his all-time scoring record. That someone is LeBron James, and Kobe doesn't sulk. He salutes him in front of the whole world. It's one of the last good things the world will ever hear from him. Because right now, the clock has already started. Let's rewind, because the man who reached that night wasn't built in a day. August 23rd, 1978, Philadelphia. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, is an NBA player. But Kobe doesn't learn the game in America, he learns it in Italy. When his dad's career moves overseas, the family follows, and little Kobe spends 8 years there. He learns the language. And he does something nobody sees him do. He works while everyone else is asleep. Picture a 12-year-old running morning workouts. It isn't normal, but not normal was the whole blueprint of Kobe Bryant. Back in the States, he enrolls at Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania, and there, he breaks Wilt Chamberlain's regional scoring record before he was old enough to vote at 17. He turns down college. He jumps straight to the NBA. Back then, a guard going from a high school gym to the pros was almost unheard of. The 1996 draft, the Charlotte Hornets take him 13th overall, but Kobe never wears a Hornets jersey for a single game. Because the Lakers' legendary executive Jerry West was already obsessed with the kid. On draft night, West traded away his starting center, Vlade Divac, just to buy that 13th pick. One trade in one night, and it rerouted an entire league. So why fight that hard for a teenager? Because that same summer, the Lakers were hunting an even bigger fish. His name was Shaquille O'Neal. November 1996. Kobe steps onto an NBA floor at 18, one of the youngest the league had ever seen with Shaq. The rings come fast. 2000, 2001, 2002. 3 straight titles from the outside. The perfect partnership. On the inside, a cold war. 2 egos, 1 basketball, and it couldn't hold them both. Eventually, the partnership broke apart. And everyone said the same thing. Without Shaq, Kobe is finished. Kobe didn't answer with a sentence, he answered with a number. January 22nd, 2006. Against the Toronto Raptors, in a single game. 81 points, say it again. 81. The second highest scoring game in NBA history, only Wilt Chamberlain's 100 sits above it. Right around then, he switched his jersey from 8 to 24, and then he backed up the new number. 2008 League MVP. 2 more championships in 2009 and 2010 this time. As the man in charge, 5 rings, 2 finals MVPs, 18 All-Star selections, 2 Olympic gold medals. Everyone who tried to write him off ended up buried under the stats, but the rings aren't what made him a legend. 2 words did. Mamba Mentality. The idea was brutally simple. Do whatever it takes to be a little better today than you were yesterday. He was the guy in the gym at 4 in the morning one night. His Achilles tendon snapped. He went down, then stood back up, drained 2 free throws, and only then walked off the court. There's a darker chapter too. In 2003 in Colorado, a serious accusation surfaced. The criminal case was dropped. Kobe issued a public apology, and the matter was settled. He spent the years that followed rebuilding both his game and his name. And that rebuild led somewhere nobody saw coming. April 13th, 2016. His final game. 20 years, 1 franchise. The Lakers on his farewell night at 37 years old. He dropped 60 points and walked off with a 101-96 win. He grabbed the mic, looked out at the crowd, and said 2 words. Hold on to those 2 words. We're coming back to them. For most legends, the story ends here. Kobe's didn't, because in 2015 he'd written a poem called Dear Basketball. A letter from a kid who fell in love with the game. That poem became an animated short film, and on March 4th, 2018, Kobe Bryant won an Academy Award For Best Animated Short, the most ruthless competitor the sport had ever seen was holding an Oscar. His life had turned a whole new page, and at the center of that page was one thing: his daughters. One in particular. Her name was Gianna. Everyone called her Gigi, and she loved the game as much as her father did. Kobe wasn't in the stands anymore. He was on the sideline like a coach. He'd given his heart to girls' basketball, to the next generation. He'd already earned the title of legend. Now he just wanted to be a dad, and the clock is almost out. January 26th, 2020 Sunday, a little after 9 a.m. A Sikorsky S-76B helicopter lifts off from John Wayne Airport, the destination, a youth basketball tournament. There are 9 people on board. Not just a legend, 9 lives. Kobe and 13-year-old Gigi's teammate Alyssa, her mother Carrie, and her father baseball coach John Altobelli. Another young player, 13-year-old Peyton, and her mother Sarah Chester, assistant coach Christina Mauser, and the pilot, Ara Zobayan. That morning, a thick fog had rolled over Los Angeles. Even the police helicopters were grounded, but this flight went ahead anyway. Around 9:45 a.m., near the hills of Calabasas, the helicopter vanished from radar. We're not guessing here. The National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, ran a months-long federal investigation. Their conclusion: there was no engine failure. The aircraft was sound. The problem was the fog. When visibility collapsed, the pilot flew into the clouds. In those conditions, the human brain loses all sense of up and down. The pilot told air traffic control he was climbing, when in fact, he was descending. Seconds later, the helicopter slammed into a hillside. None of the 9 survived. The most haunting line in the NTSB's findings was this: if they had simply landed and waited that morning, the crash might never have happened. All that greatness, all those points, all that refusal to quit, and it ended in a single, ordinary decision: to keep going. Remember those 2 words from his last game, the ones I told you to hold on to? As he set the mic down, he looked at the crowd and said, "Mamba out, the Mamba is leaving the stage that night. We thought it was just a goodbye, the end of a career. But 4 years later, we understood. Those 2 words were a rehearsal for something far bigger, what's left behind. More than 33,000 points, 5 rings, an Oscar, and millions of people around the world who now live by 3 words, whatever it takes." But here's what lingers most. One of the fiercest competitors who ever lived wanted more than anything to be a father. And on that last morning, the thing he loved most was sitting right beside him. His number was 24. So was his last day.